The father, who is charged with killing his pregnant wife and their 2 daughters, is claiming that he killed his wife in a fit of rage after she killed their 2 little girls. Joining me now, a friend of Chasing News and a legal expert. He's been on both sides of the courtroom as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney. Bob Bianchi back with us. Good to see you, Bob.
Good to see you, Bill.
Break this down for me. It was shocking, I think, that when this first came out, this story, press conference, or at least an interview with the father, pleading for his wife and kids. Then they turn around, the prosecutor charges the father with the murder of the mom and the 2 kids. He now turns around and says his defense is that he killed her in a fit of rage because she killed the kids. Help the average person understand how this has evolved and what can we expect to come out of this from an evidence standpoint?
Well, as a prosecutor, I would be standing up there in a murder case like I've done many times before and said, you know what, the defendant doesn't get a Chinese menu of options to tell us how he murdered somebody. He lied, he went on TV, he gave that gut-wrenching, tearful, I want them back. Then it turns out that he admits that he murdered the wife because the wife had strangled the kids according to what he's saying. And then what does any good father do when their 2 kids are strangled? They put them in an oil drum with a lot of diesel fuel and have them soaking in there when they go on their media tour talking about they wish they could come back to hug them and kiss them. The prosecutor's going to take that and all the other forensic evidence, and it's a pretty strong case right now, and they're going to go to the boat here. I mean, you got a pregnant woman. He can't be prosecuted for her being pregnant, but also 2 little beautiful kids. It's a horrible case, Bill.
It's horrific. It's hard to wrap your head around. If his claim is true, that the mother, in fact, killed the kids, does that impact how it is prosecuted with the father? He still killed the mother, and he admits that.
Yeah, well, the prosecutor's going to have to do a little work there, and they're going to have to show that this story is yet again another embellishment by a defendant trying to get himself out of the horrible, monstrous act that he committed. They will use all sorts of forensic evidence, more importantly, the autopsy, to try to show time of death and manner of death. And again, Bill, it comes down to common sense at trial, not about fancy, sophisticated arguments. These are not the actions of a father who lost his 2 children to stick them in a drum of fuel.
All right, Bob, stay with me. I want to bring in our A-plus panel for tonight. Republican strategist Jeanette Hoffman back with us, and Democratic strategist Bill Caruso. Jeanette, I'm going to start with you as a mom. I mean, this at a level, as a parent, as a father, gut-wrenching, hard to digest these details.
Yeah, I can't even imagine committing such a monstrous act, as Bob said. And I think it is going to come down to some forensic evidence. But like Bob said, it does go back to common sense, too. Would a parent who's so distraught over the death of their children put them in a drum of diesel fuel? It's really disgusting.
First of all, what's going on through this guy's head, whether or not he's guilty of murdering both the wife and the children, or if this is truthfully what happened, what his mental state was, who can know? But I also look at the jury, right? There's going to be potentially a jury that's going to have to look at this. And I think as Bob laid out, the progression of lies that occurred here, I think are going to be compelling. And to come back now and say, well, actually, it was my wife that, it just doesn't pass the smell test.
It defies logic.
Bob, last point about the defense attorney. Just put that hat on for a minute. You hear your client tell you this tale. At what level do you push to get the truth out of your client? Or is the obligation on the part of the defense attorney to say, okay, that's what you're telling me happened. That's how we're pursuing this?
No, I mean, each attorney does it differently. But generally speaking, the defense lawyers want the truth because it helps you to prepare your defense. Even if that truth may be a bad one, you could still go into some level of mitigation. You only make things worse when you lie. Now, the defense did a really interesting thing here, Bill. They asked the coroner to do DNA analysis of the children's neck and compare it to the mother's DNA, presumably supporting the argument that she strangled them, and a judge refused to do that. Prosecutors need to be careful here that down the road in front of a jury, you don't hear the defense lawyer saying, hey, we told them where to find the evidence, and they refused to get it because they rushed to judgment. That'd be the argument.
Could be a reason for appeal on a conviction. Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Bob. We'll keep us posted on this
guys.
for sure. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
Authorities in Iowa have charged an illegal immigrant with the murder of missing Iowa college student Molly Tibbetts. Her body was found early Tuesday morning, bringing an end to an intensive search that lasted more than a month. Molly would have been starting her junior year of college this week.